Gems on the Road. History under the magnifying glass. I'm Diane Benoit. Welcome to Gems on the Road, the podcast where science, art, and history come together to explore the most fascinating mysteries of the world of gems and jewelry. Today, we kick off our very first episode, and we'll be talking about a piece of jewelry that has been part of human history like no other. It's small, but mighty. Have you guessed which one? That's right, the ring. But not just any ring. The ring is the most worn jewel in human history, and nothing else has managed to create such an immersive atmosphere of power, mystery, and magic. Across cultures, we find stories, legends, and tales of rings capable of granting control over spirits, bestowing wealth, power, and immortality, and even granting the three most cherished wishes, turning their wearer into someone both lucky and powerful. You've probably heard about necklaces, bracelets, or brooches, but none, absolutely none, have the strength and magic of these small, evocative adornments for the hand. Why have rings become such a powerful, deeply rooted symbol in tradition? There's no single answer, but one possible explanation is that unlike other pieces of jewelry, a ring is always visible to its wearer. It's the perfect way to remind yourself of status, beauty, and distinction, letting you admire and enjoy it with every movement of your hand. Join me on this journey full of history, curiosities, and, of course, plenty of sparkle. This is Love Pact, the story of the engagement ring. Since when have rings accompanied humankind? The answer is surprising. The engagement ring has been a symbol of love and union since time immemorial. Although it may seem incredible, rings have existed since prehistoric times. The oldest ones ever found date back to the Paleolithic period and were unearthed in what is now the Czech Republic. Most were carved from mammoth tusks. Carbon-14 studies indicate they are approximately 21,000 years old. Anthropologists and experts believe these rings were used as items of exchange or barter. Fingers provided a very convenient and secure way to carry them. As for the first recorded engagement ring in history, it goes back more than 3,000 years. There is evidence that in ancient Egypt, rings were exchanged as part of a vow of love. In fact, the pharaohs were the first to wear them. This tradition is also documented in Greek culture and in the Roman Empire. In ancient Rome, the engagement ring not only symbolized the couple's commitment, but also functioned as a legal contract between families, much like today's prenuptial agreements in Hollywood. At that time, only women wore engagement rings since they represented their transition from paternal guardianship to that of their husbands. Interestingly, they didn't receive just one ring, but two, one made of iron, symbolizing the strength to handle household duties and worn indoors. The other made of gold, displayed publicly as a sign of status and wealth. Traditionally, the engagement ring is placed on the fourth finger of the left hand, known as the ring finger. This custom stems from the ancient belief that a vein called the vena amoris connected this finger directly to the heart. Over time, the tradition spread throughout Europe, and in the 7th century, the Visigothic Code decreed that every union solemnized in the church had to be accompanied by a ring that could not be broken under any circumstances. The first documented diamond engagement ring in history appears in France in 1477. It is said that Archduke Maximilian of Austria gave Mary of Burgundy, daughter of the Duke of Burgundy, a 22-carat yellow gold ring set with an uncut, simply polished diamond in its rough form. This ring marked the beginning of a trend among European nobility. Beyond romance, this marriage carried significant political weight, as it sought to consolidate peace between the Habsburg Empire and the Holy Roman Empire, a union laden with pressures and responsibilities for both parties. Until the 17th century, India was the only known source of diamond extraction in the world. All gemstones reaching Europe and Asia came from the Golconda Valley in northeastern India. In the sediments of its mighty river, some of the oldest, most famous, and most valuable diamonds in history were found. Due to their rarity and scarcity, diamonds were regarded as extremely expensive and exclusive treasures. It wasn't until 1726 that a second diamond deposit was discovered in Brazil. Years later, between 1867 and 1869, the first deposits were found in South Africa. These discoveries caused prices to fall, making diamonds slightly more accessible. Thanks to this, goldsmiths and jewelers around the world had the opportunity to experiment with new designs for this novel and curious piece of jewelry. Wedding bands, plain rings, began to gain popularity, partly replacing the engagement ring, which had been used exclusively by brides. Between the 16th and 19th centuries, enthusiasm for engagement rings waned, leaving wedding bands as the primary symbol of union. In 1899, De Beers established a monopoly over the diamond market, artificially manipulating its price. By the 20th century, the company controlled the industry worldwide. However, the Great Depression and World War II severely impacted the engagement ring tradition, and wedding bands once again became the principal symbolic jewelry. This decline in demand hurt De Beers' interests badly, so in 1930, they launched the massive advertising campaign, "A Diamond is Forever."
The diamond engagement ring. How else could 2 months' salary last forever? A diamond is forever. De Beers.
The strategy was a resounding success, selling over 1 million engagement rings in the United States alone. In the 21st century, the diamond industry faced new challenges. Growing concern over blood diamonds led to the creation of the Kimberley process, an agreement to regulate the ethical provenance of these gems and restore consumer confidence. However, this development spurred buyers to explore options beyond diamonds, such as sapphires, rubies, emeralds, and other colored gemstones, formerly known as semi-precious stones. Although that term is now out of use, that will be the topic of another chapter. Finally, the industry received another blow with the emergence of synthetic diamonds, also known as lab-grown diamonds. But that, without a doubt, will be the subject of another episode. And you, as a bride, what do you prefer? A classic diamond engagement ring or a colored gemstone? And you, as a buyer, would you opt for a natural diamond or a lab-grown one? This was Gems on the Road, the podcast where science, art, and history meet. I'm Diane Benoit. Thank you for joining me on this journey full of brilliance and knowledge. I invite you to keep listening and to share this space with those who also love discovering the magic behind gemstones. Don't forget to share this episode and follow us on our social media channels.